Coming up on Look Today, well, we've got updates on shelters of Saratoga. I've got details. And the Gateway Project on Route 9 in Lake George wraps up for the season. More on that coming up. And Affordable Housing Group receives a sponsorship. I've got those details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, I sit down with Julia Kushner. Now she's a family coordinator for the Double H Ranch and she's here to talk about the organization and the important work that they do for children. It's part 4 of our series, Look Who Cares. And I also sit down with Cheryl Hage Perez. Now she's the executive director of Saratoga County RPC, better known around here as Vet Help. And she's here to talk about the importance of taking care of our veterans. That's also in our series, Look Who Cares. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, the shelters of Saratoga continue to provide services for our community. Now, in this time of year, it's especially important to acknowledge the places that help those who help those in need. Now, the shelters of Saratoga recently underwent some renovations. Specifically, they built a private resource room with access to computers. Now, this allows guests to be proactive in an effort to better their lives. It also provides them with the privacy to do so. Well, we caught up with Mike Finocchi. He's the executive director of Shelters of Saratoga.
We added that room for a couple of reasons. One of them was when a service provider has to come in and meet with a house guest, they were meeting at the kitchen table, okay, and all confidentiality is out the window at that point. So now they'll have a nice quiet place where they can go meet in privacy, okay? So, that was one of the main reasons why we did that.
Well, in other news, the Lake George Gateway Project on Route 9 is wrapping up work for the season. Well, currently the project is 90% complete. The project, estimated cost of $7 million, includes reconstruction of new drainage systems, paving, crosswalks, and lighting. Well, we spoke to Dennis Dickinson. He's the town supervisor, Lake George.
The Gateway project is someplace in the 90% completed. With a little break in the weather, they might have finished this fall, although to tell you the truth, we weren't really ready for it. So it worked out well. They have a small punch list. For the spring, they'll come back. They've got to face the concrete retaining wall in front of Hojo's with stone. They had some difficulty getting Verizon to move a couple poles in the sidewalk. Other than that, it's pretty much done.
Wow, big project. All right, switching from news to weather. Today saw temperatures rebound into the 20s. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. And back to the news. Well, after a special meeting was held in Saratoga, the City Council announced that Affordable Housing Group will be sponsored by Saratoga National Bank. And that means that they're going to receive funding of $700,000. This is a huge step in the initiative to provide better housing for Saratogians. Now, we're going to have more on this story in the new year when we speak to Rich Ferguson of Saratoga National Bank. All right, up next, I sit down with Julia Kushner. She's a family coordinator for Double H Ranch. She's here to talk about the organization and the important work that they do for those children. It's part 4 of our series, Look Who Cares. Plus, I also sit down with Cheryl Hage Perez. She's the executive director of the Saratoga County RPC, or as we like to call it, Vet Help. And she's here to talk about the importance of taking care of our veterans in another Look Who Cares. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. The one lookout that I want to share with you is it's kind of a scattered week for us around here, but today we did our annual holiday lunch. Now, you know what that's like. Actually, it's not like what you think. Most companies, the vice president gets up and tells you about profit and loss. Well, we don't do that. We just get around, open a bottle of wine, have some pasta, and we just talk about the year. It was a really amazing year. We're a small but mighty group here. We don't have all the resources that other networks have, but boy, we, as a group, we've got it. So at any rate, we're looking forward to 2017. Tonight on Look TV, it's a Queensbury Town Board meeting. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.